I can't handle Facebook anymore. I mean, I friended my real friend Kim, which meant I had to friend her thick-headed brother Gus, who is a gushing fountain of stupidity. His posts. Decided to burn lots of calories today, so I set a fat kid on fire. Hashtag YOLO. I'd like Gus, crowd surfing with a glow stick up my ass. I look like a firefly. YOLO. 10 likes. Last one. Home, and I think I got some kind of rash on my package. ... Worth it. YOLO. 79 likes. 79 human beings liked this. And one of them was his mother. What is this world coming to? I mean, I work, I study, I'm involved, and I do my best to progress. YOLO, you only live once? Wouldn't that phrase give permission to streaking through Walmart covered in chocolate syrup, strung on Mucinex? These fatal words of "you only live once" began as child's play, representing a no-worries attitude, but has gotten reworked into an intellectual black hole of super compressed douchebaggery. And for those of you in the blessed minority yet to be immersed in the culture YOLO, let me just say, according to sociologist Carl Pierre in the capital of September 4th, 2012, YOLO is probably the dumbest effing thing to pervade youth culture in quite some time. Oh, Carl Pierre, sociologist, dropping the F-bomb. YOLO! So let's uncork some crystal while we figure out what YOLO is and why it chafes my cheeks. Then we will get dizzy on some harms and finally stumble home to some solutions for days. But before this lightweight ends up in the bathroom stall, I'm not calling you a cab. Let's take a look at what YOLO means, where it comes from, and where we see it. YOLO, you only live once, has become a label for the forever young mentality of our generation. The Cornell Daily Sun, March 2012, explains it's the carpe diem for young people too busy living la vida loca to learn Latin. Luckily, they had time to learn Spanish. The YOLO Facebook page has over 400,000 likes, 36 million tweets, and was one of the top searches on Google in 2012. Right behind Channing Tatum's abs. I'd only live once for those. Fresh from the oven buns. JK, I'm a good girl. Boston Globe, August 2012, explains YOLO's originality is credit of a nobody, like you and me. Adam Mesh from NBC's The Average Joe. Haven't heard of that one? That's because it got canceled. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Then, in 2011, recording artist Drake released the hip-hop single, The Motto, where YOLO became a BFD of OMG proportions. All it took was one illiterate rapper to croon the line, "You only live once, that's the motto, YOLO, and we found it every day." Clearly, he struggled with grammar every day for 26 years of his life. But since high school and college-age punks thought it was a revelation, it became their everyday life motto. The most prominent form of YOLO is on Facebook and Twitter. For example, a legit Twitter post. I'm wearing more makeup than clothes. Hashtag YOLO. It has become a deliberate public display of stupidity. And only because stupidity loves good company. Because, hey, who wants to look like a moron alone? Except for streakers at a football game. They YOLO. YOLO's harm is not only a personal act of stupidity, but we'll find that it's also a global defense against the rise of the idiots. And, I mean, it's good to have a bucket list, but you should be emptying it over a lifetime, not a weekend. 2012, 21-year-old Urban McInnes died in a car accident with 4 friends after tweeting one final message. Drunk ass going 120, drifting corners, hashtag F it, YOLO. YOLO is hashtag serious. Hashtag real talk. Hashtag stop stone facing. For some college students, this term should be rephrased into yo-do. You only die once. Whereas yo-do put it, only one survive. But YOLO's also going global. According to the local, the German news in English, the German dictionary maker Langenshit announced that the English YOLO was voted the German Youth Word of the Year in 2012. Second runner-up was Mummi, the inferior German form of YOLO, which stands for Man lebt nur einmal. But that just sounds like a threat. Not an invitation to go skating at the It's even in France. On est vite qu'une fois. Acronym? On est vite. But that one needs a sneeze guard. Now, I mean, saying all of this, look at me. I'm not above YOLO. I've had my YOLO moments I'm not proud of, clearly. Like that night with Gus and the glow stick. Well, let's stay on topic here. My boyfriend's in the room. YOLO needs some type of solution, and not just for me. So we're gonna think, and not just say it. But if you have to, just use it appropriately. While life can be dull at times, and I get it, you've collected and protected your bootylicious freshman 15 from one too many threesomes with the couch and a bag of flaming hot Cheetos. We are better than to use the excuse of YOLO to repress any intelligence at all. As college students, our brains need to be guided in the right direction. And just because Jay-Z dropped out of college and still got to marry Beyonce doesn't mean your future's ready for this jelly. So tame the beast. Keep it out of your daily vocabulary. Realize that YOLO's not meant to be in the same sentence as firecracker and rectum. The Huffington Post, May 4th, 2012, points out that we all do stupid things. We don't need a catchphrase to encourage or justify these actions. And as a wake-up call, for while Drake and his 25 million are all about YOLO every day, you are not Drake, nor are you sitting on a cool 25 million. Thus, give it up. YOLO is unrealistic. You know what is real? Butt sweat. I'm just nervous. But if you just can't cut it right out of your scholarly vocabulary, extending from asshat to blitz, at least I made it to the B's, use it positively. The Daily Eastern News, April 2012, suggests the possibility of turning YOLO into something that doesn't induce hangovers. Decided to study abroad in Africa because I realized my life was too sheltered. Hashtag YOLO. And I'm not saying that trading your underwear for a tribal penis slip is going to shatter your sheltered shell. But YOLO is more than spending the night with your face in a toilet and the morning scrubbing off Sharpie Doodle. I don't know about you, but I'd take tribal penis slip over semi-permanent Hitler stash on my stash any day. Just leave it alone. I know I need to hit this a lot. So, if you weren't too wasted to remember, we define what YOLO is, how it's probably harming you and your liver, and are stripped down of some solutions. I'm just kidding, you're not getting that lucky. I can't say there's much hope for Gus and his unexpected rash. But for those of us who still have our dignity, and for this one, their virginity, I needed to call it out. I need to knock this acronym on its tush. And before I go, just to prove my point, you should really hear Gus's last tweet. Went to the dock. I got crabs. Under the sea, Sebastian. Hashtag YOLO. Fa la la. Clearly he kissed a girl. Reply. Gus, I got a new one for you. Oh, Lloyd. Only losers obey YOLO. Hashtag that, you moron. YOLO. You ought to look out for Sebastian.